All right. So, yes, really good to see you guys. Can you just confirm that you can hear me and see me A-OK, as well as see the slides A-OK? That would be greatly appreciated. Just give me a yes in the box. Thank you for that. And yeah, we're using the Q&A for those who are wondering. So that is the chat. That's what I'm going to keep an eye on. And thank you for raising your hands, as well as all of that fun stuff. All right, sweet. Thank you for that. Good. Good. All right. Glad you can hear me. Glad you can see me. Let's rock and roll. It is the top of the hour. Welcome to the Audio Domination Masterclass. And this is part number 3, as we're talking about the future of audio, and more specifically, how social audio has changed the podcast industry and what happens next, and the massive once-in-a-decade opportunity that stands before you in this very moment. All right, so here's my promise to you. And my promise to you, my big promise to you, is that today I'm going to show you how to generate all of the visibility and the leads and the revenue that your business needs and generate meaningful impact in less than 1 hour per day. And if I don't deliver on that promise, then Jocko Willink there with those Thor-like hammers of his, he'll take care of me, so don't you worry about that. All right, so hopefully you had a chance to download the free gift, our ebook, which just came out, and hopefully you've had a chance to take a look through that, which is called Crushing It with Clubhouse. How ordinary people, and I consider myself to be in that category of an ordinary person who is making extraordinary money, leveraging the power of this emerging social audio platform. I mean, we're all extraordinary, don't get me wrong. But I'm not one of those gurus with 85 billion followers or something of that nature. So I'm a lot like you in a lot of those ways. And I shared a lot of my experiences here in the Crushing It with Clubhouse ebook. Hopefully you've had a chance to grab that and have started to, well, sort of not really physically thumb through it, but thumb through it metaphorically on the computer there. Awesome. Glad a lot of you guys have got it. So if you are a coach, as a matter of fact, type this in the box. If you're a coach or an author or a speaker or a podcaster or business owner, I know we're all business owners, but you may not be one of the others. Which one are you? Just type it in the box. I'm curious which of those categories you would put yourself in: coach, author, speaker, podcaster, maybe even online marketer or business owner. So let's see who we have in the house here right now. A lot of authors, all of the above. Exactly. Coaches, facilitators, business owners. Yeah. So great. Thank you for your participation. By the way, I get my energy off of you from this participation. If we were in person, I'd be able to see all of your smiling faces and we'd be able to hang out together belly to belly, just like this. But virtually, I get my energy from you through that chat box there. So thank you for your participation. I ask that you participate throughout, which would be amazing. So thank you for those who are, and lots of different types of folks that are here. And if you are a coach or an author or a speaker or a podcaster or a business owner, let's be honest, in large measure, marketing nowadays, it kind of sucks, I mean, it's gotten really, really complicated with all these funnels and just all of the different things that supposedly we need in order to just be able to crush it today online. It's gotten super complicated, and the honest truth is that it seems like the harder, and more expensive. Just I'll put it to you this way: just you kind of yell, right? So you're kind of yelling out into this great whole of the universe, if you will. And it seems like just the louder that we yell, the less people are paying attention. And it definitely seems to me, anyway, and from our experience, it's just increasingly expensive and getting harder and harder and harder to garner attention, because it just seems like there's so many more coaches. How many of you guys can relate to the fact that it just seems like there's a lot more people who do what you do? Just give me a yes in the box if you feel like now more than ever, there are people who do, or so it seems, kind of what it is that you're doing. Yeah, okay, a lot of you guys can feel that as well. And it seems that way, right? Just there's so many more people that are clamoring for attention, so many more people that are speakers and authors and online marketers and podcasters, et cetera. And it just really seems like it's that whole, I don't know, it's kind of like, for lack of a better term, it's like this syndrome of feeling like the world's best kept secret, where it just, no matter what you do, it's just harder than ever to be seen. And how many of you would say unequivocally that you have a powerful mission and message to share, and that you absolutely know in your heart of hearts that you are the solution to someone else's problem? Just give me a yes in the box if you know that's, yeah, okay, absolutely, absolutely. And so what I want to help you do today is really help you reach those people that you are most compelled to serve in a much simpler, faster, easier way than perhaps you ever thought possible. So forget about the complex funnels and all the complexities and the crowdedness and trying to move yourself out of just feeling like the world's best kept secret and clamoring for that to happen. And what if you could move forward in a way where business could be fun, kind of like the good old days of swinging on the swing set, kind of like the good old days of just playing in the ball pit and, kind of putting your toes in the sand and just playing around in the sandbox, right? So what if business could be fun again? And what if business could be simple again, where it just isn't so darn complicated and so hard to get the results that that you want, right? What if business kind of felt like this? Just that big victory that we all need in our lives and in our businesses, right? How amazing would that be? And so what I want you to think about is how different your life and your business would be if it was easier, if it was simpler, if it was faster, if it just wasn't so complex. And my goal here today is to show you a much easier way to get to the results that you want in terms of generating all the visibility that you need, all the leads that you want, and all the revenue that you desire in a much simpler way, kind of harken back to the days of old, just sitting around, talking, connecting with people on a deep, meaningful level with nothing more than just the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? And so what if it was possible for you to generate income and impact literally at the speed of your voice? If you want to generate income and impact at the speed of your voice, here's what I want you to do. I want you to type the words "I'm in" into the box right now. If I can show you how to generate all the visibility, all the leads, and all the revenue that you ever needed to sustain the lifestyle and the business that you know you deserve and desire, type the words "I'm in the box right now. All right, so a lot of you guys, sweet. Thank you for that. A lot of you guys are in, absolutely. Sweet. Because today what we're going to be talking about here is in fact that opportunities, the new billion-dollar opportunity to leverage the combined power of podcasts and social audio to grow your audience, to attract zero-cost leads, and to generate serious cash. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And let's be honest, look around. In the last 90 days, the rules of the game have significantly changed. Why? Because there's this new thing that's come about that hit all of us like kind of a Mack truck. Is this new world of what is known as social audio. Platforms like Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces and Fireside Chat, all of these new opportunities, these new channels with which to reach people literally almost anywhere at almost any time using nothing more than your voice. And so social audio is literally taking the world by storm. And this is something that I encourage you highly to pay attention to, because it's not just this cute little thing that's going to come and go. Social audio is here to stay. And when Clubhouse is raising money at a $4 billion value, where they just raised money about a month ago at a $1 billion value, this is something we all need to be paying attention to. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here today. And what we're going to be talking about more specifically is how the pendulum has really begun to swung in your favor. And I liken this to what I would call the dawn of the micro-influencer. And for a long time, everything was just all the attention and just everything was going towards that celebrity type person, the person with the huge following, the millions and millions of Instagram followers or the millions of Facebook likes, et cetera. And all the sort of celebrity-esque type people were getting all of the attention, generating all of the leads and generating all of the revenue. Well, that pendulum, my friends, is swinging back in the direction of what I would call the micro-influencer. People just like you, people who probably don't have huge, massive followings and have kind of felt left out from this game. Just give me the words left out in the box. If you've kind of felt left out from everything that's been going on in the world of social media, and just all those people getting millions of followers, and you're sitting there scratching your head going, wait a minute, I'm putting up posts. Why aren't I getting 1 million likes? I'm doing the same things they're doing. I'm putting up videos. Why aren't I getting 1 million views on my videos, right? Yeah, exactly. I get it. I get it. And what I'm here to tell you is that as this pendulum is swinging back in favor of, again, what I'm calling the micro influencer, the good news for you is that you don't have to be one of those gurus or those influencers to make this world of podcasting 2.0, as we're calling it, the intersection of traditional podcasting and social audio. You don't need to be one of the gurus or the influencers to make this work for you, right? As a matter of fact, what I will say to you is that you don't need to be famous at all. You don't need to have a best-selling book. You don't need to have a TED Talk. You don't need to have a big email list or an email list at all for that matter. You don't need to have a social media following. You don't need to have a high traffic website. You don't need to be a marketing wizard, and you certainly don't need fancy technology to make this work for you. All you need to become influential and to grow your business leveraging the power of social audio is this, right? Your mouth, or more specifically, the 3 M's. You need your mouth, you need your message, and you need a microphone. And today, the microphone is literally just the phone in your pocket. If you've got a mouth, a message, and a microphone, type 3M in the box for me right now, 3M. And I know you do. So I want to see everybody type that in the box right now, 3M. Yeah, I know you've got a mouth, I know you've got a message, and I know you've got a microphone. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And what I love most about what's going on here in the world of social audio is that now, more than ever, people are resonating with and connecting with and gravitating towards people who are raw and real and authentic. Not the people who have, these fancy sort of, mansions that they shoot in. They're sitting in front of their fancy sports cars. It's just people coming on with nothing more than the phone in their hand and sharing the message that's in their heart in this raw, real, and authentic way. And what I love most about it also is that you can just show up exactly as who you are, right? There's no video, so there's no hair, there's no makeup, there's none of this. You literally can show up at any time from literally anywhere that you are, and it fits seamlessly into your life. You get to decide how often do you want to be involved? Where do you want to be involved from? And what do you want to say? Because it's literally nothing more than the phone in your hand. Maybe you use earbuds like this guy is doing, but it's not even necessary either. So let me just ask you guys this. How many of you missed out on sort of that big internet boom, right? Of the people making the millions and millions of dollars back in the days of the internet really blowing up? Okay, right? And how many of you guys kind of missed out on that last huge social media wave with getting millions of followers on platforms like Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or LinkedIn or any of those? Right? Yeah, absolutely. So if you missed out on either of those huge waves, and you saw how tons of money was made in the internet boom and in the social media boom, et cetera, if you missed out on either of those waves, I will tell you, you should be really, really excited about what I'm going to be introducing you here today, because the future of audio, which is what we're going to be discussing, is something that is relevant and accessible for everyone. You, me, anyone in this exact moment of time. But we're going to be talking about why there is a very specific window of opportunity here as we look at the future of audio that you need to be taking advantage of right here and right now. And so when I talk about audio, and specifically when I'm talking about audio domination, and what does that mean? It's really the intersection of where traditional podcasting leaves off and social audio begins. And like cookies and milk, right? I'm kind of partial towards oatmeal raisin. What's your favorite cookie? Type it in the box. I'm just curious. You like peanut butter? What are your favorite? Chocolate chip. Yeah, Deb's a chocolate chipper. Exactly, right? Yeah, okay. And like kind of peanut butter and jelly, right? Or strawberries and chocolate. Podcasting and social audio goes better together. One feeds the other. They are independent, right? Chocolate is delicious on its own. Strawberries, when they're ripe and delicious, are delicious on their own. But when you get a really yummy, delicious chocolate-covered strawberry, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat. So I want you to think about it from this standpoint, which is you can simply go down the podcasting lane, and there are still tremendous opportunities in the world of podcasting. Or you can choose to go down the lane of social audio, which we're going to be discussing even more here today, right? But when you combine the two, that is where the biggest opportunity lies in this exact moment, either as a host or as a guest, on stages, in audiences, you name it, the opportunities are plentiful. But traditional podcasting, if you think about it in terms of it being evergreen, which means it lives on in perpetuity. So a traditional podcast is something that is available and accessible to people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter where they are on the planet, as long as they have access to the internet, right? They can access that podcast file. It's evergreen. So for those of you who are trying to get your arms around exactly what I'm talking about, think about podcasting in terms of evergreen. Think about social audio in terms of being more real time. That whole fear of missing out, that whole FOMO, conversations happening in this very moment. And so it's the combination of real-time conversations and evergreen conversations that is the most powerful. But again, like cookies and milk or peanut butter and jelly or chocolate and strawberries, right? I mean, independently, they're pretty darn good too, but it works best when it's together. I hope that that's clear. Just type the word better in the box for me. I just want to make sure I didn't lose you on that one. Okay, sweet. Good. And by the way, I like keeping my presentations really, really interactive. So if you have questions, I am going to be keeping an eye on this. I'll try to get to as many questions as I can. I'm going to stick around, by the way, after this to answer as many questions as humanly possible. So just get yourself a glass of water, just get yourself comfortable. We're going to have some fun here, but I definitely want to make sure I answer as many questions as possible here as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I am going to leave time for questions. Absolutely. So let's look at it from this standpoint, which is when you leverage the power of, again, let's just call it podcasting 2.0, which is the phrase that we're using to talk about the intersection of traditional podcasting and social audio. Did you really just bring in chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah.
You love chocolate chip cookies so much. So now you right. I guess just like
so now you get to eat chocolate chip cookies.
Oh man, that was a good cookie.
I want to buy them because you keep talking about chocolate.
I talk about chocolate chip cookies. That's okay. I'll have more of those than that. I go for that. It's delicious. So when leverage, now I got to drink some water. Hold on. Now I got cookie mouth.
Mm-hmm. Power of suggestion. You mentioned cookies.
The power of suggestion. You mentioned cookies and they show up. I am powerful. So the reality is that when you leverage social audio and podcasting together, this is what's possible. It is possible for you to follow what we call the audio domination profit path, where you build your authority, your credibility, and your visibility. You develop real relationships with leaders of industry, and that can be your niche, it can be industries as whole. We'll go into that here in a second. You're able to attract invaluable opportunities to create a large and loyal community, to be able to attract big audiences and targeted leads, and ultimately to generate serious revenue, right? And that's what we're talking about here. This is the audio domination profit path I'm going to be covering here today. And the best part about all of this, especially in the world of social audio, is that it's 100% free. Type the word free in the box for me, right? Because that's what we're talking about here. The opportunity to leverage the audio domination profit path and all of the results that you're able to generate are 100% free. We're going to talk about that here in just a quick second. But I want you to understand that we are really sitting here at the starting line, really, the dawn, if you will, of a new opportunity. This is a huge opportunity. And those who take early action and are early adopters are going to reap the biggest rewards. Let me give you an example in real time here. So some of you are familiar with Bitcoin, right? The early investors in Bitcoin have done extraordinarily well. You could wait a little while and you could do pretty good. You wait a little bit longer and you can still do pretty good. As a matter of fact, I'm really bullish on it. I think you can still do pretty good even now. But the reality is the returns that the early investors were able to generate were significantly greater than those who are getting in today. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because the biggest spoils, the biggest rewards are going to go to those people who jump into this world that I'm introducing many of you to here today. And what I believe to be true is that there are really only three types of people, right? There is the person that watches what happens. There is the person who wonders what happens. And then there is the person that makes things happen. So which are you? Type it in the box. You somebody who watches, somebody who wonders, or somebody who makes? Type one word in the box right now for me. Watches, wonders, or makes. Type it in the box. Let's see who we've got here. All right, we got a lot of makers. We got a lot of makers. Yeah, good, good. Because that means we are cut from the same cloth. And so my question to you is, which are you? Which you've now been able to answer for me. And I will tell you that if you type the word make in the box, someone who makes things happen, then we are very similar in that way. If we've never met before, my name is Steve Olsher. Nice to meet you. And in a few short years, what I have done is I have created many people will say it is the preeminent publication for the world of podcasts, covering podcasts and podcast culture and the industry of podcasting. Very similar to what Rolling Stone was able to do for music is what we are doing right now in the world of podcasting. We've opened doors to be able to sit down with people like Glenn and Katie and Jenna Kutcher and Adam Carolla, that guy, which is this guy, believe it or not, and many, many, many other people since we launched not terribly long ago. And we now have, I think we just crossed over 50,000 subscribers in just a little bit over a year to Podcast Magazine. So went from 0 to over 50,000 subscribers very, very quickly. And more importantly, we've developed real relationships with just huge, huge podcasters and been able to give the spotlight to podcasters that the world hasn't heard from, but absolutely needs to be paying attention to. Actually, next week after, whatever it is, just as an example of what Podcast Magazine has been able to do here, it's opened doors I never thought I would be accessible to me. And next week, I'm sitting down with Howie Mandel. You guys know Howie? Any of you guys know Howie? Right? He's kind of A-lister-ish, but he's kind of A-lister, right? Howie Mandel,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
Sort of. Yeah, I think so.
Howie.
Everybody knows Howie.
Everybody loves Howie.
Everybody loves Howie. Exactly. So I'll be sitting down with him next week in his home. He's got a great podcast with his daughter. So in less than a year, well, just over a year now, we've been able to develop literally the preeminent publication for the world of podcasts. Matter of fact, how many of you guys who have a podcast or will be launching a podcast would like to be featured in an upcoming issue of Podcast Magazine? Just give me a yes in the box if you'd like. Oh, you guys are raising your hand. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, type a yes in the box if you want to be featured. Okay, sweet. Lots of you guys. Yeah, absolutely. We'll stick around and I will share with you exactly how we can make that happen for you. Excellent. What else have I done? So, and again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on my background, but I think it's important for you to know who I am and what I've done and who's going to be teaching you about the future of audio here today. We have built the largest podcast-specific club on Clubhouse, which is called Club Pod. And in literally 90 days, we went from 0 to over 50,000 members and followers. And in Club Pod, we've been able to sit down with people like Amy Porterfield and Tim Story and people like Pat Flynn and Michael Stelzner, Hal Elrod, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of folks have joined us in Club Pod on Clubhouse. We'd love for you, obviously, to join us as well there in the fun. I also want you to know that a lot of the voices that you hear in the world of podcasting have come through my events. And I've been able to guide them and teach them and help many of them, people that you probably know, like Nathan Lodka and Jay Wong and Jeremy Slate and Doug Sandler and Michael Neely. And, you can just look at the picture. Maybe some of those are familiar faces for you as well. I don't want to just drop names, but Jeremy Shank and J.J. Flassanes and Doug Barron and so on. So a lot of people have come through my events over the years. And I have personally trained thousands of people in so far as how do you really leverage the power of new media. We've launched countless podcasts, we do virtual events, et cetera, and just helping people is my thing. It's what I really love to do. I love to teach, and I love helping people just like you who have a mission and a message to share. and to help you do that in a way that is more cost effective and time efficient and gets you to your desired results much, much, much faster. And I'm also fortunate to be able to rub elbows and have relationships with some amazing people that you probably have heard of and know, people like Gary Vaynerchuk and Lewis Howes and Joel Comm and Dave Ramsey and Jocko, who you saw earlier, and being in constant communication with the biggest players in the industry like iHeartRadio and Adam Carolla and Jillian Michaels, Russell Brunson, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not sharing any of this to brag, but what I do know to be true is that at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the person who is teaching you actually walks the talk and does what it is that they say they're going to do for you. And this is what we live, eat, and breathe. And what I'm most excited about in terms of where we sit right now is that if you think about it in terms of a level playing field, for the first time in years, we are really looking at a level playing field where people just like you can compete with those who have been able to benefit from the other waves that we mentioned earlier, right? I mean, like you take somebody like a Dane Cook. He sold out Madison Square Garden as a comedian. Sold out Madison Square Garden like 5 nights in a row. 733,000 followers on Instagram. On Clubhouse, which is a lot of what we're going to be talking about here today, just under 5,000 followers. Somebody like Logan Paul, just a huge number of followers. It was 19 million, right? On Clubhouse, just about 18,000. Somebody like Jake Paul, his brother, 15 million on Instagram, 9,000 followers on Clubhouse. Joe Rogan, of course, the biggest podcaster of our time, 12 million on Instagram, about 25,000 on Clubhouse. I'll tell you that this is unlike anything that I have ever seen. I've been online a long time. I mean, you can see right here, let's see, with June, right? So it's June of 2009, almost 12 years that I have been on Twitter. How many of you guys have been on Twitter or Facebook for like 10 or 12 years? How many years I'm curious, just type in that number. How long have you been on Twitter or Facebook? Do you know how many years, generally speaking, you've been on one of those platforms, like 10, 12, 5, 7, 8, right? Long time. So I've been on Twitter since June of 2009, 7,356 followers. And I'm not saying I'm super consistent, but I post, just don't get the results that I'm looking for. Clubhouse, 100 days to 32,000 followers. It's unlike anything that I have ever seen. And we'll go into more detail around this here in a second. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, if you really want to get to where you want to go faster, hitch your wagon to a star. And I share this with you because there are very, very, very few people who walk this planet that are as qualified as I am to teach you about the rise of podcasting 2.0 and how to put the power of podcasting and social audio to work for you and your business. Okay? So if you're going to learn from someone who is where you want to go and is where you want to be. And I promise you, I'm that person for you. So let's talk about this $1 billion once in a decade opportunity, and very specifically how those who take action now will be able to capitalize on enormous audiences that are growing every single day and be able to garner the attention that they're looking for without spending a penny on ads. But as I said, there is a window of opportunity here, and this opportunity is fleeting. And those who wait will absolutely see diminishing returns. Let's think about it in terms of the gold rush, right? Going back to the original days of the wild, wild west. Well, what happened? The pioneers who got there first, who took a few arrows in their backs, right? I mean, we know what happens, but ultimately they got there first. What did they find? They found the most amount of gold, right? We got to have the, so now I have cookies, and now I have gold, right? Now I've got props. So I've got props. I like having props. Yeah, I got props. Gold, right? And as word spread back east, like, hey, there's gold in them there hills, right? What ended up happening? Those same people ended up going on their horse and their buggies and taking weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to travel across the country. And by the time they got there, what do you think they found? More or less gold than the people who got there first? You tell me, which word, more or less, right? Obviously, they found a lot less gold. Exactly. Thank you for your participation. I appreciate that. Exactly. Yeah. And so this $1 billion opportunity that we're talking about, is all about timing. And timing ultimately really is everything, right? And right now, the opportunity with podcasts and social audio is it's unlike anything that I've seen in at least a decade, okay? And throughout my career, one of the things that I have been very, very good about is understanding trends and seeing what's now and understanding what's new, and then being able to really capitalize on what's next. So maybe some of you guys remember CompuServe, way back in the day, America Online, CompuServe, Prodigy, etc. Yeah. Well, we launched a store on CompuServe's electronic mall back in 1993. That's how long I've been online. Why did I go online that early? Because I saw a huge opportunity there, and I knew in my heart that people would be moving online and doing more and more online every single day. That company became liquor.com. When I bought that domain in 1998, we ended up selling that company to Barry Diller's IAC in 2019. Just take a wild guess. What do you think I paid for that domain? What do you think I paid for that domain in 1998? Just type it in the box. How much do you think I paid for that domain in 1998? Type the number in the box. Let's see. $55, $2, $35, $3.99, $1,000, $50,000, $19.95, 2 chickens, $100, $10,000, $3. All good guesses. So I didn't pay quite somewhere where you guys are at. All good guesses. $7,500. $7,500 is what I paid for that domain. Needless to say, it was a multi-million-dollar domain by the time that we sold it. Okay. What else? Podcasts. We launched our first episode of Reinvention Radio, our podcast, in 2009. That's how far I go back in terms of creating podcasts, because I saw the opportunity then. You could buy broker time on radio stations, which I did. And what the problem is with broker time on radio stations, it's expensive, and it only reaches those people that are right there where that signal actually hits and needing to be tuned in to that particular station at that particular moment in time, right? So when I first came across podcasting, I was like, you know what? It's almost like having a global radio station. I can put out my mission, my message in these episodes, and almost anyone, almost anywhere can access this at almost any time. It's like this is something I need to be pursuing. So I did, starting back in 2009. And what I will also tell you is that once I really got the bug for this thing and started teaching other people about the world of podcasting, I knew that there was another opportunity as well, which is not only starting your own show, but of course being a guest on shows, because there's thousands and thousands of shows that are looking for guests just like you. So we started an event called the New Media Summit, where we gave people the opportunity to take center stage and pitch leading podcasters on who they are and what they do. And they literally got booked on the spot. The New Media Summit, over the years that we did it, was responsible for more than 10,000 bookings on shows. We stopped counting because the number got to be too high. But what I want to share with you is that today, there are over 2 million podcasts that are available. Now, we'll get into a little more detail around this in a second. But in 2017, when we first held our New Media Summit, our first New Media Summit, there were just over 400,000 podcasts. And I was imploring people to get involved and to launch their own show. So those who waited are now competing against many, many more shows, right? So the point being, I guess I just kind of have this crystal ball around things where I spot trends and I know, as Wayne Gretzky would say, where that puck is headed. Implored people back in 2017 to start their own shows, and many of them did. And now if you start a show, there's still a lot of opportunity for sure, but 400,000 versus 2 million, there was just a lot less competition then, much like we see right now in the world of social audio. There is much less competition now than there will be, for sure. So here's what I know to be true.
Crystal ball?
Oh, good. A crystal ball. Does it actually light up? Does it glow? Does it do anything?
Only when we
go. All right, so you got to do something.
Yeah.
Yes. Crystal ball. Ooh, says thank more props. All right, sweet. Yeah. We'll charge it next time. More props. I like props. So what I know to be true is that you just got to come out of the dark ages. right? The reality is if you just put your head in the sand and you try to pretend like everything's going to go back to how it was, and that if you try to pretend, here I'll use the prop again, right? You try to pretend that the world isn't spinning and it isn't moving, you're going to be in for a very rude awakening here, because the world is evolving, the world is changing right before your eyes, and you either will take advantage of the opportunity that's there, or you'll pretend that it doesn't exist. My hope for you is you'll take advantage of the opportunity. So please don't be one of those people that's stuck in the dark ages. Please don't be one of those people that just kind of put your head in the sand and pretend that this isn't going on in this very moment. When Twitter gets a $4 billion valuation, 30 days after they had a $1 billion valuation, I promise you, this is something you need to be paying very close attention to. Why? Because social audio, again, whether it's Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces or Fireside Chat or whatever the other platforms are going to be that are going to come about, because they will, social audio is here to stay. And why is it here to stay? Because it is incredibly sticky. What does sticky mean? Sticky means it has a tremendous amount of engagement. What does engagement mean? Engagement means that there are people spending an inordinate amount of time on a particular platform, on a particular website, et cetera. That's what sticky and being engaging means online. Well, look at the bottom of the screen. Type in the number here. How many hours and minutes has this person been on Clubhouse in that particular day, right? 5 hours and 16 minutes. We haven't seen anything like this. And when I say we, what I mean is I am a part of the tech community. With liquor.com and venture capital, like I am entrenched in that community. And so what we're seeing in the world of tech is just all of this attention, and where attention goes, energy flows and money follows. So we're seeing a lot of attention, energy, and money going into the world of social audio because of this statistic, the amount of time that people are spending and investing on this platform. And so this is all great cursory information, et cetera, but let's talk about what this actually looks like for you, okay? So again, if you remember, we talked about the audio domination profit path. Let's break down what this means and what this looks like and how you can take advantage of this opportunity. So let's start with number one, okay? Building your authority, social audio, and the whole world of podcasting 2.0, right? Again, the intersection of traditional podcasting with social audio. That whole world offers you so much opportunity to build your authority, to build your credibility, and to increase your visibility and elevate your status. Okay, let me give you a real world example of what this looks like, right? These are all leading podcasters who before Clubhouse, they didn't even know who I was. Now people like Billie Jean and Pat Flynn and Michael Stelzner and Johnny Lee Dumas and Mario Armstrong and Amy Porterfield, what do you see there by their name? That all of them follow me, okay? And then on Clubhouse, on these, like it's the same sort of thing. It has its own community of players, just like podcasting has its own community of players. Social audio has its community of players. And all of the biggest folks on Clubhouse right now, same thing. Follow me, like Christian, like Natasha, like Brittany, and I get invited on to all of these stages. This is what social audio has done in terms of being able to help elevate credibility, authority, visibility, and status for me. This is what's possible for you as well. Because once that happens, you have the opportunity to really elevate your game, to get onto stages that you never even thought were possible. I mean, here I am sharing the stage, if you look bottom left there, with Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson is one of the most successful actors of our time. You may not know this or not, but his films are responsible for over $9 billion in box office receipts, right? And being able to hang out with people, here we are, Deb, right? Being able to hang out with people like Brian Tracy and Les Brown, and being able to take the stage and share the stage with them. All made possible through Clubhouse. This is what I have been able to do in roughly 100 days, and this is what's possible for you to do as well, right? So absolutely, you can leverage the power of social audio to build your authority, your credibility, your visibility, and elevate your status. And you can develop real relationships with those leaders. People like I was saying, like Tyrese and Brian Tracy and Les Brown, et cetera. It provides unprecedented access to people that you just wouldn't normally have access to. I mean, here I am on the stage with the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, right? Where else are you going to be able to be in this environment and have access to people at that level of the game? Through social audio, okay? And this is what happens. You come on, you share your brilliance, you're raw, you're real, you're authentic, you're just who you naturally are. And the right people who resonate with who you are will gravitate towards you. Here's Natasha, right? Perfect example here. This is someone with 2.3 million followers on Instagram. I didn't know her before Clubhouse. She didn't know me before Clubhouse. But just by coming on and talking and sharing and just being who I am, she was vibing with me. Hey, loving the music vibe. Your energy is fire. Let's connect after this panel later today. I'll be a guest on her show, on her podcast, right? So again, the intersection of traditional podcasting with social audio. She has a podcast. She supports that with social audio. Social audio supports the podcast. It's a rising tide that lifts all boats. I'll be a guest on her show. This all happened because of Clubhouse. Even this guy bottom left here, it's kind of a funny picture of him, but if you can see him, that's Grant Cardone, right? Grant and I have been able to communicate probably a dozen or more times on various stages over the course of the last 100 days. I didn't know Grant Cardone. He's a star. If you guys know Grant, he's a star of The Undercover Billionaire. He's got an event called 10X. And so Grant and I have developed a real relationship because of Clubhouse. What does that mean? How does that apply to you? This is what's possible for you. How do I know? Because I see it happen every single day with people who were unknown prior to Clubhouse, and now they have followings, they have connections, they have real relationships. Developing relationships with people like John Lee, top left, again, massive following on Instagram, does huge events. He and I are now friends, all because of Clubhouse, okay? This is what's possible for you as well. And by coming on to the platform and just sharing who you are without pretense, right? Because you can't hide with audio. It's very interesting. Audio strips it right down to the core, to the soul, to the essence of who you are. You can hide behind, fancy mansions and fancy cars and fancy clothes. But when it's just you and your phone, all that people are going to be able to connect with are the words that come out of your mouth. How many of you guys love having real conversations with people that actually have substance? So where are my folks who hate small talk? Do you hate small? Are you one of those folks? Deb, you hate small talk. Yeah, right? Yeah, right? So yeah, exactly. So a lot of you guys hate small talk. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what happens. You share who you inherently are, and people will resonate with you. The right people resonate with you. And when they do, you'll be able to attract invaluable opportunities. Like, this is what happens. I just go on and I share and I just start talking. Well, this happened in one of the rooms. I don't even remember if this was a room that I started or if it was somebody else's room, but this guy reached out and said, "Hey, Steve, I really enjoyed the rooms in your club," talking about Club Pod. "Are you available for a consulting session of an hour? I host 2 podcasts, one of which has 500,000 downloads and is considered the premier show in my industry. I also produce podcasts for big hitters in my vertical and need to replace my main person who helps me with the network in less than a month. I view this as an opportunity to take it to another level. I would love to tell you the situation and get your advice and referrals." From Andy. And I wrote back to him. I said, "Great, I appreciate the note. This is all because of Clubhouse. I typically charge $15,000. That is what I charge for a half day of consulting. I charge $25,000 for a full day." So I reached out after he, sent me the message, reached back and said, "Here's where we're at. And right now we're talking, and he's either going to hire me for an hour or he'll hire me for a half day." But this is all because of Clubhouse. Here's another example of what's possible for you. I just, not just, but about a week or so ago, a group out of Hong Kong who heard me on Clubhouse reached out, and they want me to come and speak to, they're doing a grand opening of a new school there. I think it's a new school called the Morningside Foundation School. So new school, new building, groundbreaking thing. They do a lot of stuff for kids. And because of my book, What is Your What? Discover the One Amazing Thing You Were Born to Do. They want me to come and talk about, how to discover your what, this, that, and the other. They found me through Clubhouse. And if you can see here, they're going to pay for the round trip for me and 5 others to go to Hong Kong, security escorts, luxury transportation, reservations in the Mandarin Oriental, $1,000 per diem, $10,000 wardrobe budget. The offer, $30,000 US dollars, and then $75,000 in other compensation. This is all from Clubhouse, okay? They did not know me before I went on to that platform. Pretty cool, right? Just give me a yes in the box if you would like to be paid $105,000 to work with this sort of company and help kids, right? Yeah, of course you would. So I'm not saying, I can't promise you these things will happen, but I can tell you it's absolutely possible. How do I know? Here's proof. Here's proof. What else? Well, you can create a large and loyal community in an expedited amount of time. As I said, in less than 90 days, we grew Club Pod to being the largest podcast-specific club on the platform and one of the largest clubs on all of Clubhouse. And so this is pretty amazing. I have never built a community of that many people in that short a period of time. And the beautiful thing about what's happened with Club Pod is once we started opening these rooms, and our mission is to elevate the podcast industry one room at a time. Once we started opening up these rooms, we had people who, are podcasters and industry professionals and other people coming to us saying, how do we open a room in Club Pod? Can we do something with you? We would love to do that. And so we ended up putting together a group of about 60 Club Pod leaders. And we onboarded them and trained them. We have an admin agreement, and just, we have to take this seriously because we can see Club Pod growing to hundreds of thousands of members. And we want to make sure that everyone who has the opportunity to open a Club Pod room really upholds our mission of elevating the podcast industry one room at a time. And so we've onboarded over 60. We've got a waiting list of, I think, 40 people who want to be Club Pod leaders. As a matter of fact, if you would like to lead a room in Club Pod for us on a consistent basis, just give me a Club Pod. Just give me the words Club Pod in the box. I'm curious how many of you would be interested in doing that and benefiting from the 50,000 person plus community that we've built. Okay, yeah, well, there may very well be opportunities for that. But what I will tell you is that once we onboarded these 60 Club Pod leaders, and then we started growing the community to over 50,000 people, the community really took on a life of its own. And so this is what's possible for you. You can see that people now represent Club Pod when they go through, different rooms, and they open, they go into different conversations, open up their own clubs and so on. Kelly, is that you coughing? I think your mic is open. What's going on? So this is a pretty cool thing. So sorry. Yeah, right. No, it's okay. Goodbye. But you can see, like, even Miriam here, who is one of our Club Pod leaders, everywhere that she goes on Clubhouse, she represents Club Pod and shows that she's a Club Pod leader. So the club grows even, beyond the efforts that we're putting forth, right? You can see, again, just so much love and so much representation. This is what's possible for you. You can build a large, loyal community on Clubhouse and the other social audio platforms, if that's where you choose to focus your efforts, in an expedited period of time, okay? And it's just such a beautiful thing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about visibility, credibility, authority, leads, and revenue. And the way to make that happen is by sharing your mission and message in front of enough people. That's how you will grow. That's how your business will grow. And ultimately, that's how you will elevate your status, and more opportunities will come your way. And Clubhouse offers huge audiences, right? Deb, here's that room that we, that you guys did, and then brought me up, the room with Brian Tracy and Les Brown and so on, right? I mean, 12 speakers, 395 listeners in that room at that particular moment. But that's in that particular moment, right? I know it got to be much more than that. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. So you can have a massive and meaningful impact on Clubhouse in just 1, or if you choose, even 2 hours per day, right? Look bottom left here. What do you see? So it's not just the number of listeners that are on in that particular moment for the screenshot that I just showed you. It's how many people come through the room over the course of the amount of time that your room is open. So you can see here, this was a 51-minute room, less than an hour, 254 total listeners bottom left. Here's an 18-minute room, 202 listeners. Look at this, the one that we did in March with Roger Love, 8,414 total. That's a stadium full of people. We did it again with Roger because it went so well, 2,800 listeners. And why not one more time, right? An hour and a half, 912 total people going through that room. An hour-long room, 400 listeners. And here's another room, almost 2 hours with 1,600 listeners. How many of you guys do live events? Just type the word live in the box more if you do live events. Type the word live for me in the box if you do live events. Okay, a lot of you guys do live events. Yeah. So you know what it takes. You know how hard it is. You know how expensive it is. You know the effort that goes into putting 400 people in a room. Try putting 1,600 people in a room. Try putting 8,414 people in the room. Do you know how much money you would have to invest in terms of ads and marketing and everything else to put 8,000 people in a stadium? It would be astronomical. I'm sharing this with you because this is what's possible. This isn't some pie in the sky. This is what is happening right now, right there. And you may not even know this is what is going on. So that's my goal here, is really to open your eyes up to the possibility, okay? And ultimately, all of that attention and all of those opportunities can lead to serious revenue. And what I want to make sure that I do here, I just want to stop this share for 1 second because I don't know. No, actually I did. I did click the audio because you heard the audio when we started. So we're good there. Okay. So let me share with you again what's possible in terms of monetization. Now, all of that audience, all of that attention, all of that visibility can absolutely generate real time, real revenue for you. Why? Because, for example, here's one option, and there are multiple monetization options. Here's one option. What does it say on my profile? Send money. It's pretty cool. I was one of the first 1,000 people to get this option, to get this feature, for someone to literally just boop and send me money. Why would somebody send me money? Because if you come on and you share in a raw and real and authentic way, and you genuinely help people, a lot of them will tip you. And it can add up really, really quickly. Now, this was a 12-minute conversation that I had on someone else's stage. Somebody asked me about my thoughts around something. I shared my thoughts. It was about a 12-minute little spiel around that particular question. $209 came in that 12-minute period. Well, that's not bad. You know, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye, right? I mean, over 12 minutes, over an hour times 5, that's basically $1,000 an hour. How many of you guys would trade an hour of your time right now for $1,000? Just give me a yes in the box if that's something you would do. Okay? All right. Yeah, a lot of you would, for sure. Great. So you might be thinking, oh, Steve, that's all well and good for you, right? You know this, you know that. Okay, whatever. How about Brian? Here's somebody else. Brian actually came into Brian Fanzo, some of you may know, really big in social media. Yeah, just came into my room on a random Thursday, I think, or whatever it was. We just opened a little pop-up room and just started talking, and people started coming in, and I gave Brian the opportunity to share. He was talking about sponsorship. That's what it was. He was talking about sponsorship, and so he was talking about, brand partnerships, exactly. And so he shared for about 10, 12 minutes or some of his strategies around brand partnership. And I said, my God, that was just a master class. Tip this guy, right? He ended up with $305 in tips just by sharing what comes as naturally to him as breathing. How many of you guys would like to make $300 for 10 minutes just by sharing what you talk about anyway? Because that's what this is. Yeah, exactly. That's what's possible here. Right? And this is like a whole other level. And I blacked out the name. I don't want you guys to, just for privacy's sake here. But here's a whole other level. So this guy, and I will tell you his name is Michael. I didn't have to tell you his last name, but this is Michael. We were talking about it. He placed $32 million in investments via Clubhouse, meaning he's created monetization for others in Clubhouse, and he's personally made just over $110,000 in just extra services and mostly speaking gigs. And one of his 2 book deals came through Clubhouse. So pretty ripe with opportunity. And this is what I'm going to teach you. This is what I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same strategies that all of them are doing. But let's take it up even another notch to what's possible here when you do things the right way. And just give me a yes in the box if you can hear. After I hit play, you should be able to hear, but let me just share this with you.
I just as like a quick synopsis, we were having a virtual event. I decided we were going to dive into Clubhouse as a way to fill it, because while I could go out and spend a ton of money on Facebook ads, most of my tribe can't. And so anything I try to do things that they could then do, because I teach them what I do, not what I say, but also what I do. And so we did, and we had a virtual event. We did 3 days of virtual event. 200 people were there. We generated $623,000 in sales at the virtual event. 300,000 of it came from Clubhouse. Wow. People who we had met on Clubhouse, invited to the event for the 2 weeks before it. So it 100% was an experiment that worked. And what was amazing was these were Clubhouse rooms that had between 30 and 60 people in them. Okay. You don't even need a huge following to get your right fit audience. This has completely leveled the playing field, because any other time in the history, you would have needed a multiple 6-figure budget to drive people into an event, or you would needed somebody to give you permission to be on their stage, or you needed a Today Show to book you, or you would need Simon Schuster to give you a book deal. You needed somebody else's permission to reach your target market. And right now, you don't need that anymore. You actually can go to your exact target market who's been waiting to hear from you and reach them right now on that platform with a message. So if you're not doing it, you're putting your ego in front of your mission.
Yeah, so pretty powerful. So just give me a 1 in the box right now if you're pretty excited about this opportunity. Just give me a 1 in the box if you're pretty excited about this opportunity. And this is what's possible. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm so bullish. This is why I preach about this. You know, it's like literally, and my wife gets so tired about it almost every minute of every single day. Like I just can't stop talking about it, because this is, like I said, unlike anything that I've ever seen. And there's an opportunity here to generate real revenue every single time you open up that app. Okay, so lots of people typing 1 in the box there. Absolutely, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep teaching here for sure. I've got a lot more than I'm going to be covering here. But what I do know is that some of you may actually just be like, you know what, Steve, I'm in. I want in. Whatever it is that you're doing, I want to be a part of that. And so if you're one of those folks and you just want to jump straight to it right now, you can go to join80now.com and you can see exactly what it is that we've got going on. I will tell you that we have bonuses and special bonuses that are just for the first 24 people who come in today, and then 1 more bonus just for the first 50. So really encourage you to jump into this now so you get all of the bonuses that I'm going to be including here today with Audio Domination. Of course, we'd love to have you as a part of that family. So if you're one of those, it's like, you know, I'm in, I know I want to do this. I want you to show me how. I'll give you that opportunity right now to get in before everybody else. And that way you'll be sure to get the limited bonuses that we have. Again, for the first 24, we've got a really great bonus. And then if you're one of the first 50, we've got a great bonus as well. So let me give you that opportunity to do that before I continue here, okay? So that said, we're kind of at this crossroads, right? I mean, it's like it's the red pill, it's the blue pill, right? It kind of goes back to the days of Neo and the Matrix. And this is what we're looking at. I mean, this is what we're looking at right now, is you are at that fork in the road. You have a choice to make. And what I will tell you is that, you know, stepping into something new, I get it, can absolutely be scary. And this is new. 100 days ago, when this first came onto my radar, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to, you know, like, what is this? And literally, stepped in scared. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And I get it that stepping into something new can absolutely be scary. But at the same token, once you get out of that matrix and you see, oh my God, there's this whole world around me that I didn't even know existed, it can also be really liberating. And I will tell you, for all of you who said earlier that it's just too complex, there's too many things going on, you need this and you need that, and you have to be doing all of these various things, this will be a godsend for you. And just being able to be raw and real and authentic and share who you inherently are, that can absolutely be liberating. And ultimately, it can set you free, right? And that's what we're talking about here. And your options, the red pill, the blue pill, however you want to look at it, the fork in the road, if you can stay with the masses and you can do specifically what it is that you know, right? I know, like, for so many of us, it's so much easier just to see, oh, this is what they're doing, let me do that too. And you can do that. But I'm also giving you the opportunity here to not be just like everyone else and to take advantage of this opportunity that we're looking at right now. Because the number of people who are online, specifically in social audio, is a small fraction of the total number of people that are on all the other platforms. There are billions of Facebook users. I think it's like 2 billion Facebook users right now. There are less than 12 million people using social audio right now. What does that mean? It's the same thing that I said to people when we were looking at it in terms of podcasts. Around 400,000, and today there's over 2 million. 5 times as many people. So even if you just extrapolate that out and you go from 12 million to 60 million, still a lot more people. But what I will tell you is that, and look, I don't want to sit here and make false promises to you. That's not who I am. But all of the writing is on the wall, that the hockey stick is right here, and it is going to absolutely explode. So imagine all the rooms that I showed to you before that had 200 people, 400 people, 8,000 people going through that room. What's going to happen when there are 100 million people on Clubhouse? What's going to happen when there's 500 million people on Clubhouse? And is that possible? Absolutely, 100% yes, it is. We'll continue here. So what I know to be true is that so many of you, and many of you have said this before, and thank you for your participation, coach, author, speaker, podcaster, business owner, right? Just the competition to be heard is absolutely through the roof. And again, the louder we seem to yell, the less we seem to be heard. And so that's the question, right? Is, do you want to go down the path that is not working and is not getting you the results that you know you deserve and desire, or follow your inspired path, right? What I'm really giving to you in this moment is I'm giving to you the door. I'm showing you the door that you can walk through and where this opportunity lies. And this is something that you will choose to either walk through that door and take full advantage of what is available to you, or you'll know that that door is open and you'll choose not to walk through it. So you can absolutely choose fear of the unknown. And I get it. I know what it's like to be afraid, right? I get what it's like to be afraid. I have been afraid at every juncture of my career. You know how many magazines I launched before Podcast Magazine? Deb, how many magazines do you think I launched before Podcast Magazine?
No.
None. That is accurate. The answer is 0. 0, right? You know how many podcast episodes I started with before we launched our first episode of Reinvention Radio?
None.
None, exactly. You know how many people were on my email list before I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and put out this email lead magnet thingy and see if people provide their name and email to get it? How many were on my email list?
One,
because it was me.
Yeah.
Because I had to test the form to make sure that it was working, and it worked. But I get it, right? You can choose that fear of the unknown, and I get it. Or you can allow your intuition to point the way. Really, I mean, it is just that simple. And the bottom line here is that it's fun. It allows you to be creative. Social audio gives you freedom. That's what I love so much about it. It is a medium of freedom. Freedom to express yourself. Freedom to be who you inherently are. Freedom to make money and generate real relationships and build your status and build your credibility and authority literally as you want and when you want. Because what I know to be true is that we all have something that we love doing. We all have people that we are meant and made to serve. We all have a mission and a message to share. That's why you're here. So how cool would it be if you simply were able to share what it is that you love and what really puts fire in your soul and became that sort of micro influencer, if you will, that we're talking about? And I will tell you that you don't need to have a massive following on Clubhouse or the other social audio platforms to make this work for you. And so what I now know to be true, having established myself as an OG, so to speak, on the platforms, and again, I was one of the first 1,000 to get the monetization feature on Clubhouse, one of the first to build a club to over 50,000 members and followers. I am one of the first fireside chat creators. And I do not have a massive following. I will tell you, there are people on Clubhouse right now who have millions of followers. I do not have millions of followers. You saw the following that I have. And yet we are generating leads and revenue and visibility literally at will. And that's what's possible for you too. It's almost like the spigot of the faucet. You can turn it on. You want more leads, you want more visibility, you want more revenue, turn it on. You want to slow it down, you got enough clients for the moment, turn it off. These are the things that are possible for you. And so this is what I want for you as well, to be able to establish yourself as that go-to expert in your niche, to be able to establish yourself as someone that the world wants and is clamoring to listen to. And what I will tell you is that if you think that social audio, and you're thinking about it from the standpoint of, okay, social audio, maybe it's just a fad, right? Just Rubik's Cube, coming, going. I promise you it's not a fad. It is here to stay, and the numbers support that. Maybe you're thinking, okay, well, this is just a waste of time. You got people spending 5 hours and this amount of time on it. The good news for you is the people, others, are spending time on it. You don't have to spend that much time on the platform. You can choose how much time you spend there, and it's never a waste of time. Whether it's a conversation, you're simply listening to the conversation, you're a part of the conversation. I will tell you that I have yet to go on to the platform and feel like this has been a waste of time. And it's not a one-hit wonder, right? This is a new industry that we are seeing right now. This is a new industry that is being created right before our very eyes. And maybe you're thinking like, I'm a dinosaur. I don't understand technology. This is too complex. It just doesn't make sense how to do this. It is literally just as simple as picking up your phone and pushing a button, and you're on. And if you can pick up your phone and push a button, you can make this work for you. Okay, Steve, but I'm not on Apple. And I know I've heard about all this Android stuff and this, that, and the other. Okay, fine. It is true. Right now, Clubhouse specifically is only available on Apple devices. However, they just raised $100 million. They just brought on a number of developers to solve for this exact problem. I just was going to say 2 weeks' time, but I don't want you to quote me on that. Sometime in the very near future. And from everything that I've heard, that will be in May. Android will be available in terms of Android users will be able to access and participate on Clubhouse. So that's just a matter of weeks from now. What does that mean? It means that if you can afford an iPad, even if you're an Android user and you can afford an iPad, go get yourself an iPad, get yourself on, set up the profile, do what we tell you to do, and you're going to have a huge jump start over those who come on when Android does come online. Because when Android comes online, I know it's hard to believe for those who have Apple devices, but actually we are not, in terms of Apple users, the majority of of users that are online right now. The majority of people have Android devices. So when it's open to Android, this thing is going to skyrocket. That's why the window of opportunity is right here and right now. And you might be thinking like, I'm not a guru. I don't have this big following, etc. That's okay. You don't need to have a big following. Some of the people who are just absolutely doing amazingly well on Clubhouse, and most of the people who are doing amazingly well had almost no following before they came on to Clubhouse, and they have built their following, which has actually now served their other platforms. So if you're not a guru, it's not a big deal. You don't live in the USA, it doesn't matter. This is a global platform. You'll never make money. You will make money, and that's exactly what we will show you how to do. You're shy? No worries. The good thing is there's no camera, there's no spotlight. It's just you talking in the same way that you would talk to your friends or to your family. And nobody expects you to do anything differently. I won't be invited. Sure you will. You need an invitation? Let us know. We'll get you on the Clubhouse. Yes, it's invite only right now. Yes, it's still on in beta, which is pretty amazing in the scheme of things. You're afraid you won't be invited? You'll be invited. Let us know and we'll get you on, 100%. I'm not a marketer. Great. Don't be a marketer. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. And the people that are doing the best on the platform are those that are simply coming on and sharing authentically and in a raw and real way and just being who they inherently are. Maybe it won't work in my niche, right? That's a concern. It works in any niche. There are thousands of clubs that are available right now, which is one of the reasons why you want to jump on sooner rather than later, because that number will jump into the tens and hundreds of thousands once Android comes online. But the number of different clubs that there are with all the different niches means that there are so many opportunities for you to develop your own community on the platform, again, regardless of what your niche is. And I will just tell you this, that in times of disruption, and this is a disruptive period of time that we live in. As a matter of fact, this is one of the greatest times ever to be alive. With everything that's going on, the technology as everything's evolving, this is a disruptive time, and disruptive in a very positive way. And in these disruptive times, fortune absolutely favors those who are bold. And what I will tell you is that there is a right way and a wrong way to take advantage of this window of opportunity. And this is not just about showing up, okay? What I am offering to you through Audio Domination is not just about, hey, go on to the platform. Anyone can just go on to the platform. That's not what this is about. What this is about, and you can see this in podcasting, you see the number of people who just launch a show and then they fall off, because they don't get the results that they want. This isn't Kevin Costner. This isn't the Field of Dreams. You can't just build it and they will come. You see that in podcasting, right? How many people do you know that have launched shows and gave up? It's called pod fade, and it actually has a term for a reason, because people don't get the results that they want when they try to do it themselves. Same thing with Clubhouse, same thing with social audio. Sure, you can go on. Sure, you can launch a podcast. Sure, you can go on to social audio. But this isn't just about showing up. This is about understanding exactly what to do so that you see a massive ROI on your time, energy, and resources. And ultimately, that's what I'm offering you the opportunity of, is to learn from someone and from a team that has done this, right? Social audio is breaking new ground. This is a dawn of a new day. And our team is on top of this left, right, and center. There is no one who is more qualified than we are in this particular moment in time to teach you about how to take advantage of the rise of podcasting 2.0 and the intersection of podcasting and social audio. And whether you need help from a podcasting standpoint, or you need help from a social audio standpoint, or potentially both, our team is incredibly well equipped to help you. And so I want to share with you what we're actually talking about here in terms of audio domination, because this is the opportunity that I'm putting in front of you now. The opportunity to join us in audio domination, which is the most comprehensive and current training available for leveraging the combined power of podcasts and social audio. And so Audio Domination is a 6-week intensive. I will personally lead this intensive. Everything will be delivered live from me. I will be personally leading this over the course of 6 weeks so that we can stay completely up to date as things continue to evolve and grow, and we will adapt as well. It is a 6-week intensive where I will help you discover and implement the new billion-dollar opportunity to leverage the combined power of podcasts and social audio to grow your audience, attract zero-cost leads, and generate serious cash. So let's look at what's included in Audio Domination. So module number 1 is a 6-module, 6-week program. Again, delivered 100% live. So you have access to me to be able to ask your questions and to receive guidance. So to dominate in the landscape of audio and to create a 6 or 7-figure business, you need to have intentional focus. You need clarity on what I call your topic of influence in the conversation that you most want to be a part of, and an understanding of which initiatives to pursue. Having this in place, and this is what we will cover in module 1, is putting these foundational pieces in place to help you attract your perfect clients so that you are not wasting any moment of your time taking advantage of what social audio in the world of podcasting has to offer. Okay, in module number 2, we're going to talk about the new audio landscape. And so dominating in the world of audio requires a very clear understanding of the rapidly evolving audio landscape. So module number 2, we're going to talk about the world of podcasting 2.0, the new opportunities that social audio offers, including Clubhouse and Fireside and Twitter Spaces and other new and emerging platforms. And we'll cover the equipment that you need to sound amazing. So I want to make sure that you are completely up to date insofar as what's going on in this new evolving world of social audio. Okay, module number 3, we're going to talk about how do you land those coveted podcast appearances and social audio stages, and ultimately, how do you turn visibility into revenue? Because that's what we're really looking at here, right? And so I want you to imagine being able to land coveted podcast appearances and social audio stages at will. And so this is possible for you because you'll follow the system that I've perfected over the last 100 days. So I'm going to share with you my specific strategy for winning virtual stages. This is a strategy that I've leveraged now for years, over a decade, to land over 500 podcast appearances and more recently over 50 of the largest Clubhouse stages. In addition, I'm going to take you through this process, which I've really now perfected, and lay out with you a step-by-step plan so that you can implement and achieve some similar success. So you can get on the podcast you want to appear on, and so you can land the Clubhouse stages you most want to secure. In module number 4, we're going to shift to talking about how do you turn visibility into revenue. And so appearing on these coveted stages, I mean, it's really just step 1, but converting the visibility that you're going to receive into red hot leads and cash in your pocket. This is ultimately what is paramount to your podcasting 2.0 success. So we're going to go through one of my favorite and proven strategies for shifting passive listeners into active leads and customers, because this is a strategy that we call the $1,000 funnel that helps me to consistently generate $1,000 or more from nearly every virtual stage. So even if you just appeared on a couple of stages a month, that could generate some real revenue for you real quick. You get on a couple stages a week, that grows exponentially for you. So as an Audio Domination student, you're going to receive this funnel. We're going to talk about that as well. And then we'll work together to customize yours. Okay, in module 5, we're going to talk about the business of podcasting 2.0. And this is really where the rubber meets the road, because few podcasters or social audio creators have the ability to turn their show or their social audio presence into a business. Why? Because those numbers are typically based on downloads or number of people in attendance. So if you have 1,000 downloads per episode, maybe I'll pay you $25. Okay, great. That's impossible to turn into a business. If you release one episode a week, that's $100, right? 4 episodes times $25. If you have 1,000 downloads, that's $100. You can't live off of that, let alone keep the lights on. So the goal here is to show you how you can leverage the business of audio to create the life and the business that you've dreamt of. And so we're going to be talking about the business of audio, and more specifically, the 7 core initiatives that we leverage that fuel our 7-figure plus business. And so this is where, again, anyone can show you, hey, go on a Clubhouse and build a profile. Go ahead and launch a podcast. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is the business of audio and the 7 specific initiatives that we leverage that you can too, so that you can actually turn all of that visibility into leads and revenue, and exactly what we're doing with each. This is how real money is made. And finally, in module number 6, we'll talk about creating your own stages. So I want you to imagine for a moment how your life and your business would change and transform if every time that you spoke about what puts fire in your soul, you were able to generate impact and income at the speed of your voice. And so the audio domination system, which is what we're presenting the opportunity for you to join us in here today, absolutely makes this possible for you. And so we're going to cover, how do you create a top-rated and highly engaging podcast? We're going to talk about today's best strategies and tactics for increasing your podcast listenership, securing more 5-star ratings and reviews, building a meaningful social audio following, and launching a niche-defining club, and ultimately generating leads and revenue from every episode and every social audio room. So all in, we've got over $6,000 in training and resources for you, including we're going to give you our closing script. So this closing script, which is previously available only to our Icon Maker students, and Icon Maker is our highest level program. People invest $36,000 a year to be a part of our Icon Maker program. We have created a detailed 7-page closing script with different ways to move people through the process of enrolling them into relevant products, programs, and services. This script has generated millions of dollars in revenue. So if you've ever been concerned about, like, okay, how do I enroll people? This is how you do it. And so when you have conversations through Clubhouse and you invite them to have a conversation with you offline, you need a script. You need a script so that you can close them into relevant products, programs, and services. We're going to give you the exact script. Maybe you want to have sponsors for your podcast, sponsors for your club. Well, you're going to need an agreement. So we have, invested quite a bit of time into creating a sponsorship, advertising, promotional agreement that crosses every T and dots every I. It's going to save you thousands of dollars that you would have to invest to hire an attorney to create this for you. We're going to give you our sponsorship agreement. And if you want to create a club, which I highly encourage you to think about doing, well, part of that may be bringing on admin, or as we do, club pod leaders and whatever you call your leadership team, to open up rooms and to give people the ability to represent your brand moving forward. So you need an agreement. We've created this agreement. We'll show you exactly what to do to build your club, and we will literally hand you the same agreement that our club pod leaders all have to sign before coming on board to join us. Now, in addition, you've got the audio domination training and all the resources to go hand in hand with that. We're also going to include our 9-module Profiting from Podcast course, which is the most comprehensive training available that will help you land coveted guest appearances on leading podcasts, and turn that visibility into revenue. So this is a detailed 9-module course, which takes you all the way through the process of positioning yourself, and then presenting when you're a guest on a show, and then ultimately profiting from those appearances. It's a course that I'm super proud of, and we've just invested an enormous amount of time and energy into creating that. We're going to give you that course as well. So now we're talking about both sides. You've got the side where you are the host, and you've got the side where you are the guest. And so that works for podcasts, it works for stages, etc., and it's applicable for both. In addition, one of the things that we're really excited about is our Done For You podcast booking service. So this is the first time that we have offered this before. And what we are doing is my team, the same team that books me on shows, they're going to book you on shows. So my team is going to book you on 2 shows, 2 podcasts, and they're going to create your Media One sheet, brand new, and create a custom email pitch. And so if you're going to get booked on shows, you need to have a really nice looking Media One sheet. So the same team that created our Media One sheet for me is the same team that will create one for you. And they'll create a custom email pitch to get you booked. So a value easily of $1,000 there. And you'll be among the first people to use our podcast booking software. So we're super excited about this because we created the most comprehensive, done for you podcast booking software available. You literally just plug in a few different parameters and variables, and it will tap into the 2-odd million podcasts that are available to give you everything that you need, including their email address, social media information, et cetera, et cetera. But rather than just talking about it, let me show you exactly what this looks like here. And I think you'll be excited about it as well.
Hey, everybody. I have a challenge for you. Let's say you're a person who wants to show up on podcasts and get interviewed about personal wealth. It's your business. You want to grow your brand. So here's the challenge. Go and find those podcasts that you want. Find a podcast about personal wealth that has at least 10 episodes, has at least 4 reviews, and is in the English language. Let's see how long it'll take you. While you're doing that, I'm going to click the search button here in what we've built, so you can see how long it takes us in order to find all these podcasts for you. We're done. Look at this. I just found 4,993 podcasts that talk about personal wealth, have at least 10 episodes, have at least an average review of 4, and are in English. These are people you can now pitch and appear on their podcast for. But we've taken it a step further than that. That's a lot of podcasts, right? 4,993. How do you know which ones are good? We have our own internal scoring system called the podcast score. Take a look at this. From 0 to 100, it scores all the podcasts. So you can see which ones. Oprah's Super Soul Conversations. Yeah, Oprah's obviously pretty high on this. Going all the way down. You can pinpoint the level you're at in your podcasting career, so you can kind of get on the right shows for you and your audience. You go down here, let's say, hey, 67, that's about where I want to be on. Not really sure. Let's go in here. Read the full description. Has the reviews, has the author, has everything. And now just click on Add to Downloads. Click on that. You'll now download a spreadsheet, which will have the email, the names, the website, the description, and very shortly, we'll have the social media of that podcast. You can download 100 a month and get on tons and tons of shows. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, so, needless to say, we're super excited about this. 44 days is what we're going to give you to test it out. You can just play around with it. You can download the show information of the shows that you want to get booked on. And all that information is right there for you. So literally with just a couple of clicks, you can just sift through the 2-odd million shows to find the right shows for you to approach. Great way to build relationships with people, great way to pitch them, to get booked on shows, etc. 44 days is what we're going to give you to try it out. And if you decide to stay, awesome. Then it'll just be $49 a month, which is half of what others are going to be paying. So we're only doing this now as a part of Audio Domination at $44 a month. And if you stay with us at $49 a month, you'll be grandfathered in, which means you'll only pay $49 a month moving forward to access the database as it continues to grow, and we continue to provide other improvements to it, social media, et cetera, as Ray said. And so, yeah, we're super excited about this software. You'll be among the first people to be able to try it here. And 44 days free. If it doesn't work out for you, you don't like it, you can cancel it at any time. But everyone else who will be using it will be paying $99 a month. So I'm giving it a $600 value because it's a $50 difference between what others will pay and what you're paying. So over the course of a year, that's $600. So all in, over $9,000 in real value here that's included with Audio Domination. And some of you indicated, most of you indicated that you'd like to have a podcast magazine feature, right, to be featured in the magazine. So we're going to do that for you for free. And we're just going to include that with Audio Domination. So if you're one of the first 24 to enroll, we're going to include a feature for you in Podcast Magazine, easily a $1,500 value. Probably could have put a much larger number on that, but all in over $10,000 in real value here. And we're going to include another bonus for you. This is our way of saying thank you for being here, reward you for staying all the way here till the end. And again, I'm going to stay on. I'm going to answer questions and try to help you as much as I possibly can here. But I want to include another bonus as well if you're one of the first to come into Audio Domination, which is I'm going to give you the opportunity to take the stage with me on Clubhouse. So I will literally bring you up on stage. We'll host a special room depending on how many people we end up with. Now this is going to be for the first 50. So we end up with 50 here today. I'll probably do a couple rooms just so that everybody can have enough time there, maybe even 3 or 4 rooms just so that everybody has enough time for me to be able to bring you up on stage and introduce you to everybody and give you the opportunity to talk and participate as well. So big bonus number 2 is you'll have the opportunity to join me on stage in Clubhouse, easily a $2,500 value. And bonus number 3, this is a brand new bonus. Haven't offered this before. I will follow you. So why is that important? Why that's important is because in the world of social audio, the stage is broken down, and this is what I would consider to be the entire stage here. It's broken down into 3 parts. At the top level are the speakers, right? The people who started the room and then who are moderators or speakers in the room. The second row, or beneath that, depending on how many speakers there are, there's a section then called followed by the speakers. So if I follow you, whenever you come into one of my rooms, you will be boosted up way above others in the room. And when there's hundreds of people in the room, that can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. So you will be in that second section anytime you come into a room that I'm in. What does that mean? It means more people will see you, more people will read your bio, more people will follow you and want to connect with you. And so we didn't really know what to put on this as a value. So we just said priceless. But that's the third bonus that we're offering right here, right now. So all in, when you include the Audio Domination live training that I will be personally leading, plus all of the resources, the 9-module Profiting from Podcast course, which teaches about landing coveted guest appearances on podcasts and how to turn those appearances into revenue. The done for you booking. Again, my team is going to book you on 2 shows. We're going to create a brand new media one sheet for you. And we're going to create a custom email pitch to get you booked, the 44-day trial of our brand new podcast booking software, and all 3 bonuses, the Podcast Magazine feature. I will follow you on Clubhouse, and I will bring you up on stage into Clubhouse, over $13,000. And right now, it's just $19.97. And I'm super excited about this, and I'm super excited to be able to work with you. And we've tried to make this as affordable as possible, given everything that we're including here. And again, I can only do the Podcast Magazine feature if you're one of the first 24, and the Clubhouse stage if you're one of the first 50. So you can get all the information at joinadnow.com. So joinadnow.com. And again, it's just $19.97. Now, if you need a payment plan, we do have a payment plan option for you as well. Now, my team actually is standing by. You should see live chat there on joinadnow.com. But if for whatever reason that's not working and you have questions, feel free to email kelly@steveolsher.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But again, everything is included for just $19.97. So joinadnow.com. Would love for you to join us there. And again, the Podcast Magazine feature is just for you if you're one of the first 24. And being able to join me on the Clubhouse stage is only for the first 50. Okay, so again, joinadnow.com. Now that said, I know there are some of you who might want to have a lot more attention from my team and I. And so if you're one of those who just absolutely loves being fully entrenched and you want to go absolutely all in and work with my team and I over the course of a year, I want to introduce you to something, and you were one of the first to see this, which is the 1 million downloads mastermind. And we're really excited about this. And the first time that we're offering this mastermind, it is a 12-month, a year-long mastermind. And so it's a year-long immersive. It's a year-long immersive mastermind led by me, my team, and leading experts. Who are the leading experts? All of the experts, all of the faculty are people who have achieved that magical milestone of more than 1 million downloads. So all of them have reached that milestone. So the 1 million downloads mastermind is designed to lead you step by step through today's best practices for growing your audience, increasing downloads, and generating leads and revenue, all while cultivating meaningful relationships with your new community of podcasting and social audio influencers. So let's look at what's included in the 1 million downloads mastermind, which of course is everything that's included with Audio Domination. Plus, you'll get direct access to me throughout the course of the year and our faculty via monthly deep dive virtual sessions where we'll be covering cutting edge podcasting and social audio and marketing, promotional strategies and tactics. And just so that you're seeing what we've got going on here, our faculty is not comprised of the usual sort of podcast suspects. These are a lot of folks who, again, have achieved that magical milestone of 1 million downloads, and many much more than that, but kind of fly underneath the radar and aren't out there just making a big stink about who they are and what they do, but they're quietly, absolutely crushing it with downloads and revenue. People like Chell Hamilton and Michael O'Neill and Chris Bello and the team from Spartan Up and the team from Criminology. Of course, my team and I from Reinvention Radio, the team from Wise Traditions, Jason Horton, the team from the Organized 365, the Self-Helpless team, specifically Delaney Fisher, Halatala from the Young and Profiting podcast, Brian Beatty, Tyler Allen, Shane Salk, Lee Balcom, and others. This is your faculty, all of whom have achieved that magical milestone and will be teaching you throughout the year. So in addition to getting together monthly online, we're also going to be getting together in person. So we've got two-day in-person intensives taking place throughout the year in sunny San Diego. Plus, we're going to do weekly hot seat and accountability sessions. So the bottom line is literally every single week, you're going to have a touch point with my team and I, and every single day, you're going to have the opportunity to connect in a private back channel community where you'll be able to share victories, seek input, exchange podcast appearances, Clubhouse stages, secure ratings, reviews, downloads, subscribers, and much more. So in the 1 million downloads mastermind, again, you get everything, including the 3 bonuses that were mentioned before in Audio Domination, plus a direct access deep dive to me and the faculty that we're bringing on a monthly basis, the in-person intensives, the weekly hot seat accountability sessions, and the back channel. Over $63,000 in real value. Plus, we're going to give to you our proven to convert, fully built out $1,000 funnel. So for those of you who are thinking like, I just don't love technology, I don't really know how to convert visibility into revenue, what do I do? We've fully built out what we call our $1,000 funnel because it generates leads and revenue for us to the tune of over $1,000 in revenue from virtually every podcast appearance and social audio stage that I'm on. So we're actually going to give this to you. It's built in ClickFunnels. We will literally push this funnel into your account, and all you have to do is just change the words, and it's completely yours and proven to work. So, hey, technology, we've taken care of the technology for you. All you got to do is just change a few things into your own words and your own pictures, and you'll be good to go. So over $68,000 in real value. And you can enroll now in the 1 million downloads mastermind for just $79.97. Again, it includes everything in Audio Domination plus a year of us helping you and guiding you. Now, what I will tell you is that this is the only time that you will see the 1 million downloads for $79.97. And you can get more information. You can sign up and join us there at join1md.com. So Deb, maybe we can pop that on the board as well. So just join1md.com. And if you have any questions at all, our team is standing by there as well. Okay, and if you need a payment plan, we do have a payment plan option there as well. So join1md.com. And just so that we're clear, there is a very limited number of spaces. This is not going to be a huge mastermind with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in it. This is a much smaller, intimate group that we're looking to guide and help over the course of the next year. So who is Audio Domination and the 1 million downloads mastermind for? Well, it's for you, absolutely, if you are an aspiring podcaster. So if you have not yet launched your show, let us teach you how to do this the right way, right out of the gate. If you're a speaker or an online marketer or an author or a podcaster or an entrepreneur, and you're looking for more stages, you're looking for more visibility, right? On virtual stages, podcasts, social audio stages, et cetera, whether they're your own or someone else's. This is absolutely for you. And if you're a current podcaster and you've launched a show and you just haven't yet been able to get the traction that you want, or you just really want to grow much, much more faster, and you want to better monetize your efforts, this is absolutely for you. Again, whether it's Audio Domination or whether it's the 1 million downloads mastermind. And so what I will leave you with is that, again, this is the dawn of a new day. This is a new opportunity for you to be able to share your mission and share your message with people across the globe and generate income and impact literally at the speed of your voice. And I don't say this to be harsh, but if you could have gotten to where it is that you want to go with your business or with your podcast or with your social audio presence, you would have already gotten there. And so you cannot grow beyond what you do not know. And that's one of the reasons why I always hire coaches. It's one of the reasons why I continually train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I just always am under someone's tutelage, because there's only so much knowledge that we have garnered and gathered on our own. We all need guidance. And so the investment that we're asking you to make here, either in Audio Domination or in the 1 million downloads mastermind, this will serve you for the life cycle of your business. Not to mention the relationships that you'll develop, and just knowing that you're a part of a community who supports you and is there for you and wants to help you. And I know what it's like to try to go at this alone, and it's a hell of a lot better when you've got a team behind you who has been there and understands what to do. Because ultimately, what you're investing in is a proven, a vetted process. Because trying to do things on your own will cost you a fortune. You're investing in an experienced team. Basically, you're investing in the experience that we have, right? We understand what works, and you're ultimately investing in the mistakes that we've made, because we've learned what not to do, and we help you avoid that trial and that tribulation and that brain damage that you inevitably endure trying to do this on your own speed, right? The wealthy will invest money to save time. And those who struggle financially, they continually invest their time in an attempt to save money. And when they do that, all that ends up happening is they end up delaying to getting to the results that they want. That's what you're investing in, right? And the confidence to say no, having a team by your side who can help you to say no to things that are distracting or that you don't need, and ultimately helping you to build an infallible foundation, one that is scalable and repeatable and profitable. And so we'd love to be able to help you. And again, if it's the 1 million downloads mastermind, awesome. Just go to join1md.com. Again, it's $79.97. When we release this down the road, you will not see this investment ever again. I promise you it will be thousands and thousands of dollars more. We're only doing it at $79.97 as a part of this Audio Domination launch. So join1md.com, or for Audio Domination, $19.97. Both have payment plans available, and our team is standing by. Love to be able to help you, love to be able to work with you. and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have as well. So I think what I'll do here is let me stop the presentation in terms of it being on your screen. If I can. Nope. That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's stop that eventually. If I can get it over there, which I can. Ta-da. All right. And Kelly, do you still have your camera open, or is that just me? Let me see what's going on here.
My camera is not open at you.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would look like me.
That's true. All right, so I want to stick around. I want to answer questions and drink some water. So I know there were some questions that popped through the box. Kelly, I know I missed a bunch of them.
Yep, I've been tracking them.
Yeah, why don't you fire away some questions? And let's start there. So let's answer questions about audio domination. Let's answer questions about the $1 Million Mastermind. And of course, let's answer questions around today's training. And by the way, was this helpful for you guys? I know there's still a lot of you guys on right now. Just give me a yes in the box if this was helpful for you. Okay, thank you for that. Good, because I definitely want to make sure that I answer your questions and definitely want to make sure that this was helpful for you. So thank you for saying that. Okay.
First off, we can welcome a few people that have joined.
Yeah, let's definitely welcome some people. All right, so let's welcome some people for sure.
Stephen and
Hold on.
Caroline and Roberta and Michael and Lori and Lorna and Todd and Rich.
I'm never going to remember that. Okay, so let's welcome.
I've got them.
And we're not gonna give out last names, but I'll do it. Okay, so we've got
Steven, Rich.
Welcome, Stephen, and Rich. Welcome, Rich.
Todd.
Todd. Which is it? Well, Todd and Caroline. Welcome to
Lorna.
Audio Domination or 1 Million Downloads. Well, yes. Who else?
Lorna.
Welcome.
Roberta.
Lori.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Who else?
Lori and Michael.
Lori, Michael. Welcome. Awesome to have you here. Okay, so that's great. That's awesome. Welcome. Glad you're here. That means we still have a few, obviously, of the 24 that are left. So if you were wondering about whether or not that first bonus is still available, the answer is yes. So yeah, we obviously got a few more there. Okay, looks like, who else was that? William that popped. Okay, so we got another one. So that was William that popped in. Caroline is in fact CJ Grace. There you go. Hi, CJ Grace. Good to have you as a part of what we're doing here. Okay. How much
CJ is back with us. We like that.
Welcome back, CJ. The monthly payment plans, I don't remember off the top of my head. It's on the, so if you go to joinadnow.com, you'll see it there. It's just at the top. You can click for the monthly payment plan. Or if you go to join1md.com, you'll see that there. It's just a little button. You just got to click on that and then you'll see it.
Yep.
Okay, Kelly, fire away.
Okay, so CJ was asking, how does a social audio presentation compare with doing a TEDx talk?
It's 100% different because a TEDx talk is going to be slides. It's going to be highly polished. It's going to be something that you've really put a lot of time and energy and effort and whatnot into. Clubhouse is taking everything that you know, and you literally just come on and have a conversation. So some of the best rooms that we have done are rooms where I literally just said, you know what? I'm just going to pop up a room here and just start a room. Like there are rooms that we do that we schedule and we have an agenda and those sort of things. Sure, we have things that are more formal. But I will tell you that some of the best rooms that we have done that have been the most well attended, and then we've been able to convert those folks into our ecosystem, bounce is the operative word, bounce them into our ecosystem, are rooms that are just simply, hey, let's just get together and hang out for a minute. So it's more of an organic type of platform. It's not a platform where you're going to do a traditional webinar or a platform where you're going to do a traditional presentation. Like what I'm doing here doesn't really translate. Can I get the front camera again? It doesn't really translate over to Clubhouse because again, Clubhouse is just more of a hangout. It's called drop-in audio, right? It's just people dropping in and hanging out. And the fact that you have expertise in a particular subject, it just means you can come on and talk about it because it comes as naturally to you as breathing. So Yeah. What else, Kelly? You muted yourself, I think.
So I did. Is it better to join Clubhouse as your name or your business?
Oh, great question. I mean, again, that's kind of granular. It's kind of in the weeds. And there's, if you go to Crushing It with Clubhouse, right, and you download that ebook, we've got a whole section that talks about that. But, I would say use your real name. And if you, if you read Crushing It with Clubhouse, you'll see, you obviously want to build a profile that generates interest and clarifies who you are and the value that you bring to the table. But I would say just join as your real name. I know there's people who kind of toy around with that a little bit, and Coach Deb is Coach Deb on there, which is fine too.
Still a name, though.
But it's still a name.
Not a
Yeah,
brand.
it's not a brand. It's not a business.
Like no
So
one wants to talk to Coca-Cola.
yeah, exactly. So I would just suggest signing up and having your name and then talking about your business and your profile. What else, Kelly?
With Steve's strategy, how much time per week will we need to commit to on Clubhouse?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I would say, honestly, think about how much time you spend now. Like, look at your phone and look at what you spend on Facebook or Instagram or any of the other apps that are on your phone. Odds are real good, maybe not for everyone, but for most of you, that if you look at your screen time and your usage, you're probably on there several hours a day, if not more. So you're on your phone already. Now it's just using it in a more productive manner, right? And so honestly, if you were on an hour a day at the most, you'd see some pretty remarkable results pretty quickly. And there are people who invest more time than that. I don't think you need to do that. And I go days without going on, just so you know. I'm not even on there every single day, 1 hour a day. But as you're just starting out, as you're looking to build your following and your club, etc., an hour a day would be plenty. What else, Kelly?
How hard is it to get monetization on Clubhouse, and what are the requirements to be able to collect tips?
Hold on, I'm just answering one question here. Let me just answer that directly. There you go, Barbara. There's your answer. Hopefully you got that. So how hard is it to collect tips? Was that the question?
Yeah, how hard is it to get monetization on Clubhouse, and what are the requirements to collect tips?
Oh, yeah, great question. And so, so monetization is rolling out to every user. So it is their plan that every user will have the ability to accept payments. So they added 66,000 people last week, another something odd thousand. This is like every single day they're adding more people. So their plan is for everyone to be able to have monetization in fairly short order. Now, in terms of how do you make money? What does that look like? How much can you make? The answer is, I don't know. And I say that because it's going to vary from person to person. What I do know is that friends of mine who just use the send money tip option right now, they're making thousands of dollars every single week. I know people who are making over $1,000 a day using just the send money option, not even taking them offline, but just through tips. So is it possible? Absolutely. If you have expertise, which obviously you do, and you help people, and you do so in a raw, real, authentic way, people will reward you for that. And again, I don't want to make any false promises here, but if you're consistent on the platform, there are rewards to be had, 100%. What else, Kelly?
I have a topic I want to teach. Is Clubhouse an interactive conversation, an interview? Is it possible to just teach and get a following?
I would suggest to you that if you just want to teach and get a following, then the podcast side of the equation would be perfect for you, right? Because a podcast is largely a monologue. It's you talking about whatever your expertise is. Maybe you're interviewing somebody and then it's the two of you talking about a particular subject, but no one else is involved in that conversation, right? You record that and then you put that episode out and people listen to it. So Clubhouse is really designed to be more of an interactive experience. Now, you can come on and you can teach for a period of time, absolutely. and open it up for questions, open it up for people to be able to interact with you. Because just straight monologue can work for a period of time, but at some point during that conversation, you want to make sure that you stop just teaching and talking and really leverage the power of the platform and use it with what it's designed for, right? Which is to be able to build rapport and build relationship with the people that are in that room. That's the beautiful thing about it. That's how you'll get through the audio domination profit path. So in answer to your question, can you? Yes. Is it the most effective use of the platform? No. There's a hybrid opportunity there to teach and to interact. That's going to be the most optimal use of the platform for sure. I know Patty says, got a question here. If my target is in the 50 plus age group, is Clubhouse geared towards the younger population? Surprisingly, no. The younger population really seems to continue to gravitate towards Snapchat and kind of that arena. The social audio world, because it's the best way to put it, for the most part, these are adult conversations. Right? You don't have, because there are no likes, there are no, comments, there's no trolling, there's none of that nonsense that's going on that you see on a lot of the other platforms. And a lot of that nonsense seems to attract the younger crowd, so to speak. So I'll talk over here. So Clubhouse actually skews older than perhaps you thought, and it surprised me. But there are folks who are educated, who are knowledgeable, who are having really interesting adult conversations. I don't mean adult in terms of like, adult, but I mean really meaningful conversations. So the thing that surprises most people is that the Clubhouse demographic is older, more educated, and much wealthier than any other platform. So yeah. All right. So if you do a podcast, how do you use Clubhouse? Well, that's interesting. So again, Chris, great question. To me, the two really do go hand in hand. And again, it's like cookies and milk. It's like chocolate and strawberries, right? It's like peanut butter and jelly. The two really do go beautifully hand in hand. So one of the things that we do and where we have been moving with our podcast is to do our podcast actually live on Clubhouse. So we record our podcast live on Clubhouse, make it interactive, bring people up, have them ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. And then we take that exact file and we push that out as our podcast episode. And what's so beautiful about it is that the podcast listenership grows as the Clubhouse and social audio following grows. And then the podcast pushes people to social audio, and social audio pushes people to Clubhouse, and then Clubhouse pushes people to the other social channels. And it is literally the synergies that exist between all of these platforms that make what's going on right now so incredibly special. I do see some people with their hands raised, so I want to make sure if you had a question and you wanted to come on and actually ask me that question, go ahead and raise your hand. So let me just see here.
I don't see where we can do that.
I can do that. Can't I do that?
I don't think so.
I can allow to talk. I can do that.
You can answer questions live.
Hold on. I can allow Sandra to talk. Sandra, you there? Unmute yourself. You have a microphone. Try to unmute yourself. See if you can do it. You may not have a microphone. If you don't have a microphone, then you can't do it. But go ahead and just type it in the box. Christine, I think you had a question as well. I can allow you to talk. Why don't we do this? Just throw in the box, say I want to talk. If you want to talk, tell me that in the Q&A. So if you want to talk, tell me that in the Q&A. Who owns Clubhouse? Well, it's privately held. And they have raised a lot of money from some pretty decent investors like Andreessen Horowitz and others. and they are not connected at all. Although that's probably not true. I think Andreessen Horowitz, I think, was an investor in Google, I think, but I don't know that to be 100% true. I could look into that and get, okay, so Savvy, no problem, no Mike, no worries. So yeah, so if you have questions, just pop it in the box and I will be more than happy to answer those.
So I have a couple more here.
Yeah,
as
please.
far as you covered this a little bit, but they might not have heard that part. As an Android user, will this actually make sense for me right now, or should I just wait?
If you're an Android user right now, what I would say is get into the game right now with us. Pick up an iPad, like an inexpensive iPad. If you don't want to get a whole new phone, just pick up an inexpensive iPad. You can get online through that. Get in the game now with us. And then when Android hits, you'll already have an understanding of exactly what to do, how to do it. You'll have built your profile. You'll have started to build your following. You could probably even open your own club. So I would say, you could pick up a decent used iPad for $100 and that would get you online. So yeah, I mean, even though you are an Android user, get a head start. Again, that window of opportunity, the rewards are going to go to those who get in the game right now, get in early. And then that's where the exponential growth is going to happen when Android officially comes online. So, I mean, I would say don't wait, because when Android gets online and everyone can come on who has an Android device, that means everyone can come on who has an Android device. So get that head start. And again, like the pioneers getting the gold, the biggest rewards are going to go to those who get the gold, right? And start now. Okay, what else?
Would this work for something like narrating fiction?
There are actually some folks who have podcasts and narrate fiction and have done really, really well with that. As a matter of fact, one of the faculty members and the 1 million downloads mastermind has got over 200 million downloads, and that's exactly what they do. On Clubhouse, the answer is everything goes. I mean, there are people who DJ, right? And they've got a DJ set and they're just playing music and people just tune in and just listen to the music. There's people who lead guided meditations and people just tune in and just hang out and do the meditation. So the short answer is absolutely there's an opportunity there for you, 100%. Marilyn says, it looks like a hot opportunity to market an already built out brand. Does this program help to create the brand and the pathway to best podcast? Yeah, 100%. So what I would say to you is this is not, I mean, again, I'm a perfect example of someone who has not had a large social media following. I've never really gravitated towards social media. I mean, started, like I said, in 2009 on Twitter. I think I've got 7,000, whatever it was, 600 followers on Twitter, right? So I'm not a big social media guy. I've got like 4,000 followers on Instagram. When I started on Clubhouse, I had 1,100. My Instagram following has quadrupled since I started on Clubhouse. So this is definitely an opportunity for people who don't have a built out brand. And even if you don't know what to do, where we start in terms of building the foundation, module 1, right out of the gate to help you figure out that niche and the conversation that you most want to be a part of. I mean, I wrote the book on this, which is called What is Your What? Discover the One Amazing Thing You Were Born to Do. There are a few people who are as qualified as I am to help you really hone in on where your biggest opportunity is and what is it you should focus on. So if you're starting at ground zero, that's actually not a bad thing, because then I can help you get it right the first time right out of the gate so you can take advantage of all of these opportunities. Just a quick reminder, it looks like we've got about 6 left right now. So thank you for those who came in, and you guys can just feed me the list of names, but I just got a note that says we've got 6 left of the 24. So join adnow.com, of course, for Audio Domination. And then for the 1 million downloads mastermind, that is join1md.com. And if you have any questions at all, our team is standing by. We've got chat there. They can answer those questions. If for some reason that's not working, you can just email kelly@steveolsher.com, and we'll get you dialed in there as well. All right, Kelly, I think we're good. And if you're watching the replay on this, again, as of this moment, we've got 6 left. So come on in, join us. We, of course, would love to have you in either Audio Domination or the 1 Million Downloads Mastermind. Again, it's joinadnow.com or join 1MD for the 1 Million Downloads Mastermind. So join 1MD.com. So as of right now, we've got 6 left to get all of the bonuses. And then after that, well, we'll see where we're at. But again, for the first 50, you get the other bonus there. But if you want all the bonuses, now is the time to join us. I would love to have you as a part of what we're doing. My team and I would love to be able to help you. For Deb, for Kelly, for Duff, for Justin, for Susan, for my entire team and everybody else, Elizabeth and everybody else behind the scenes. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here for part 3 of the Audio Domination Masterclass. And I will talk to you guys really, really soon. Take care, everybody.